There you can see some other players. I've already finished the dailies because here the enemy within, and this is related to the level design that I was mentioning the other day, that I'm mentioning today, but related to something that happened last time. Remember that this mission? Do you remember this mission? Here, maybe I can see the other step that it showed in the codex before we enter. That's the armor of my sniper, by the way, except for the helmet. The helmet is different, but that's the armor of my sniper with a different color. Is the galvanized infantry armor, by the way. This one. Ah, well, it doesn't say that the previous steps that we did, but basically, you tracked Revan to his final hiding place. It's time to take him down for good. Meet with Darth Mar at the coalition command post to proceed. Well, remember that this mission, the enemy within, they solved the marriage between mmorpg level design. Remember, always the main premise of our analysis as we started. Bigger scenarios with group activities to accommodate for group activities, and single player games, smaller, for single player activities. Correct. Any guild want to start a group for the world boss first? I soloed that world boss, then we can do it if you'd like. I feel tempted to reply to the other person in the guild. I soloed it last night. Do you want me to solo it again? No, but I have to do the stream. Okay. How did they combine both philosophies with the personalized instances? Something that, for example, World of Warcraft didn't create, originally at least. As you can see, you can enter in a group, but you can also do it alone. But not only that, this mission, the enemy within that we got, you could do the operation. You had to do, you could choose. You remember, you could choose. You could do either the operation, which is a raid, an 8-man raid, or a 16-man raid. I don't know. It has to be 8-man, I think, in this case. Either you do that, you do the operation, or you can do 6 dailies. 6 dailies here, you just do your dailies as I did off stream. The problem is that I did the dailies before doing them again for the story. They were kind of like, first you do them for the story, then you do the same dailies for the kind of like, then you do the same dailies kind of like for just for reputation to get a mount and some prizes. So in this case, I chose to do the dailies. I finished them off stream just to have a minimum context. And now we finally, the Republic and the Empire will join forces to stop Revan. Here, let me remove the chat for you because it's a cutscene. I know it's a very cinematic game. Shit, looks like I'll have to limit the frame rate of this shit.
As we speak, our forces are working with the Republic to end the Revanite threat and take the temple.
In spite of our obvious differences and the fact we're at war, you were able to inspire a sort of cooperation I never imagined possible.
Remember, you get the cinematic if you do the operation or if you do the dailies. Oh, I mean, they I should have reduced the shadows or some shit like that. This it's not because of my GPU. It's a game from 2011 and I have a 3080 people. I have two 3080s in fact. The second one is for the other screen, so it even offloads that. It's because of the crappy Hero engine, and my connection is fiber, so it's not that. It's the crappy Hero engine of the game.
Credit where it's due. You succeeded where Darth Mar and I failed.
But we aren't finished yet. There is one element even our combined militaries will be unable to stop. Revan. Given his failure, he'll try to escape, to regroup. That cannot be allowed to happen. Consider it taken care of.
I wish you could listen to the orchestral soundtrack of the game, but well, it's all licensed. I don't know why those transitions are so shitty like this. So, place my user interface. Thank you. So, travel to the Forgotten Terrace. Yeah, where I fought this last time. It's just that that I had changed scenes. Yeah, now I remember. Okay, we'll have a cinematic world boss fight. So let me remove the chat, even though I like reading chat. Okay, so here we go. I just get on this shuttle to the Forgotten Terrace, and let's beat Revan. I already know the boss fight because I did it last week. It's just that I didn't showcase it because of that shit mistake that I did. So this time we'll do it appropriately. If we once we finish this, we continue with Knights of the Fallen Empire. With Knights of the Fallen Empire. Oh, well, it's all rainy today. Rainy jungle, rainy drum and cast. Today it's all rainy. Today is a rainy Thursday. It's a rainy Thursday, people. I think I'll lower the shadows right now. The problem is that the game will crash and I have to restart. It's just that the boss fight will be shit like this. There we go. Like it has problems loading. No, there we go. You can see that it's a smooth. It's just when it loads shit up or something like that. You have to admit that even that for a game that is from 2011, I just hope it doesn't. It's when you move, I believe. But here, oh, there he is, people. There he is, Revan, with his two lightsabers. Look at that. You know, but I don't want to. I don't want this shit to be like this. Well, if it crashes, I'll restart. It's better that than then have a shitty world boss fight. I guess. Or not. Maybe, well, this game generally crashes, especially when you change this. But what about... Yeah. Let me take out the stupid enhanced shadows that they added. And the render distance of the grass, that is generally the problem. Let me take those. And I don't even have it on very high. Alright, as long as I don't change the refresh rate, it should be okay. Should. If it crashes, well, then I'll just restart the game. I'll appear right here, anyways, or outside of the instance, but the mission will be updated. So let's go. It should work. The only thing that crashes it is the refresh rate, in my experience. Indeed, it does not. Yeah, the refresh rate is what crashes it. How about now? You like it more now? Yeah, you like it more now. Like it more now. Well, at least we'll have the original shadows. Anyways, it looks gorgeous. Yeah, it's that shit. It's the render distance and the shadows. Let me remove the... See, this time it worked, people. This time it... Well, there we go. You don't talk?
It's over. You've been at my heels far too long. I knew the Rishi plan was a long shot, but I had to try. Had to make it legitimate. I needed to lure you in. You were supposed to stay busy on Rishi long enough for me to finish here, but no, you couldn't do that, could you?
You are not Revan. Not a chance. Surrender. Wait. Ah. Sorry. Sorry. I right clicked the shit as I was moving the mouse. Sorry. Surrender? Not Revan? What do you mean not Revan? He is Revan. What? Not a chance, surrender. See, this is something interesting about the level design that I wanted to highlight before we get into the boss fight, people. Um, in one of the flashpoints, I think I mentioned it at the beginning, but I didn't complete the sentence back then in the first stream. In the first flashpoint of this game, you have a dark side and light side points according to the moral choice system, the classic moral choice system of BioWare, in which you can kill some people, spare some people. In the first flashpoint of this game, you can choose to kill an admiral or not, and according to that, you get a different boss fights. You get a different first boss fight according to what you choose. Then they didn't implement that afterwards, but there are some choices in the game, like in Mass Effect, like in BioWare's games, which is a single player component of the level design, being affected by the moral choice system of the game, which is amazing, amazing, especially considering it's an MMORPG. So then I will showcase all of that, but just so you have an idea. Not in this case. In this case, it doesn't matter. Once we do some flashpoints, you will see. Not a chance, surrender, you know. Oh. Well, remember, we had the apparition of another Revan, at least, that told us to stop him. So we'll go with you're not Revan. Or not a chance.
This has all been one big deception, hasn't it? You aren't even the man you claim to be. You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, he removes
I
the
spent
mask.
300 years in lockstep with the Emperor's mind. I know what he's become, what he wants. The Emperor must be destroyed completely, or he will return and consume every last living thing.
He is
There's
right.
no cost too great. If I have to snuff out every life on this world by hand to draw the Emperor out, then so be it.
Well, there you have major plot incoming. Remember, read the book Revan, and indeed he was kept in in a cage by the Emperor for all of these years. That's how he survived 300 years after the original Knights of the Republic 1 and 2, which this game is set uh, is set in it's 300 years after. Okay.
If you're Revan, who spoke to me outside the temple?
Of course, it's so obvious now. You have no idea what I am, what I've become. I was a Dark Lord of the Sith. I was the prodigal knight. I was powerful, but I was also weak. Not anymore. Now I'm pure, unburdened. I can finally have revenge on my jailer and save the galaxy
Jailer,
doing it.
see?
I have the power, and you have nothing.
You are wrong, Revan. He has powerful allies.
Both Sith and Jedi. Allies from all corners of the galaxy.
Well, look at that. Very well done. How they did it.
Shay, Vizsla?
Heard the fight to end all fights was going down. What sorry kind of Mando would I be if I missed out?
You were saying?
I don't care how many of you there are. I won't be denied my destiny.
Well, he's right that he was imprisoned by the Emperor.
Revan!
By the Emperor. Yeah, by the way, you can do this in a raid boss as a raid boss operation boss. As a raid operation boss. Okay, here we go. Sorry that you don't have the epic music of Star Wars people to accompany the moment. I also don't have it, but it doesn't matter because it's all licensed. Let's go. You know the rotation, right?
Will be the end of you.
Next target. He is strong with the Force.
Be strong with the stance because he's stunning
I must have
like no
revenge.
tomorrow. That fucker is stunning like there's no tomorrow. Don't you say anything else other than be strong? Perfect. 4 death marks. 2, 1. Mass affliction. There we reapply.
He is strong with the Force.
You are sealing
Damn it, he's resisting some of my attacks.
I won't let you win.
6, perfect. This rotation is very unique, people, because most people just go for Unrelenting Affliction, which is a talent that just increases another one called Death Field. Here, and now you save them, like this shit. This one? You have to save a specific one or what? Which one is it? Hang on. Which is the one that you have to save? Like this. There we go. Imagine those are real. Imagine if those are real players. If those are real players, I'll just leave a death mark here. No, not a death mark. Sorry, a face walk mark. Sorry. So, speaking of death marks, this one I cannot liberate him. I cannot free him. Ah, dark side. Okay, it has to be the dark side. So the dark side ones, free. Light side force attacks. How about this one? No. Has to be a light side character or some shit like that. No, not this one. And then I have to grab the other one, probably. This one? Oh, I did the other way. The other way. There we go. You'll see. This one? There we go. So, light side one. Freeze. Dark side characters. And dark side one, freeze, light side characters. There we go. Let's recover some force power. Maybe some lightning.
You are sealing the galaxy's fate.
By the way, guys, I'm back at full power. There, nice interruption. Stupid stance. You're wasting my death marks. There. No.
I have come too far.
I resisted that shit. There we go. Ah, by the way, I'm back at full power, people. In case you don't know, I am back at full augments. Then I will show you as we explore the level design and everything. But well, at least now you have the full story if you played Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 and wanted to see how it goes on from there. As I said, remember the first thing that you should do after playing Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, it should be to read the book Revan, precisely, which is Knights of the Old Republic 3. And then the Jedi Knight story in this game, in Star Wars The Old Republic, is Knights of the Old Republic 4, not 3. It's Knights of the Old Republic 4. And then this would be 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever. Alright, here we go again. See the mechanics. See how incredible the difficulty derived from the level design influences the gameplay mechanics. So I got the dark side orb that you can see here in this debuff. And alright, I needed light side for that one. Right, I need the other one. Well, here it's not killing me because it's a single player boss. But here, this one. So dark side orb, freeze, light side character. There you can see it. There you can see a debuff, and it frees them. Remember that, as I've said, you can do this as a boss operation. There we go. Light side orb, freeze, dark side character. So any other dark side character here? Lana there. Well, there's nothing I can do about that pushback. Oh well, there you can see it. This one, dark side for Lana. No, light side. Yeah, right. It's the opposite. So this one. Then there we go. Imagine I'm playing it single player, the single player version of it. But imagine this would have already killed me if this was an operation, a raid boss. You can play this as a raid boss as well. And because of that, there you can see the perfect influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics, people. There you can see that the difficulty, I missed one, I believe, there, the Mandalorian. There you can see, this would have already killed me if this was an operation boss that scaled, it's dark side. Okay, it's dark side. Let me activate a face walk here, so it's faster. Let me activate a face walk. There you can see a perfect influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics. Pay attention to that, people. Should be like this. Good. It also consumes my force energy there. It would have already killed me, and it would have wiped the whole operation group. It's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Because there you can see the influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics. How it would have influenced. How the difficulty would have derived from that. So it's incredible. I'm always amazed at how this game is pretty much the only MMORPG that also has all of the virtues of a single-player RPG in that sense. Of a single-player RPG. So it's absolutely incredible because it's the most versatile. It's the most versatile game of all time, if you think about it. It can be an MMORPG, but it can also be a single-player RPG perfectly, interchangeably. That's something that is the only game that I've seen done this, combined with the amazing, of course, Star Wars universe and everything that it has. I don't like that they censor the word meatbag. But well, there you have, here you have the first perfect example of how an operation raid boss can also be handled as a single player boss fight, which is amazing. If you think about it, the mechanics that you saw here, the perfect influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics, which increases the abstract complexity of it, is something that we don't get in modern games. We don't get these MMORPG mechanics of having this kind of a stance and targeting the ground. There are some bosses that target the ground and all of those things. We need a comeback of those mechanics of moving your character because they increase the difficulty of it. And precisely this game, why I say it's the best game of all time, because it's the most versatile. It's the most versatile game of all time. It can work as a single player, it can work as an MMORPG, and in both of them, it excels.
In defeating me, you let the real enemy linger on.
He is right.
You doomed the galaxy.
He is right.
Been successful. Had you brought the Emperor back, you would have made the galaxy's destruction all but a certainty.
He's right, you know.
Oh.
No, not you.
Oh.
You've been so blinded by your unchecked rage, your thirst for vengeance, that you could not see the truth.
Two Ravens?
Now that your power has subsided, I may finally confront you. I only hope you will listen.
Two Ravens? Two Ravens? Wait, what?
What exactly is happening here?
I think that's
When
all of
I
our
died,
question.
I had come to terms. I was ready to become one with the Force. But I soon realized that was only what part of me wanted.
I cast you out. It was the only way to go on, to remain and finish what we started. You were holding me back.
You're stronger this way, but you're not. Neither of us is. We're broken. We can't go on like
It's
this.
like the dark side and the light
I
side of
won't
him.
stop. Not until I conjure the Emperor. I have to face him.
Oh no. Vitiate?
You wanted my return. You did not need to destroy whole fleets or turn a living world barren for that. only had to point the Empire and Republic to a shared adversary and let them do what they do naturally. Make war.
Oh,
The scores of dead have nourished me. I am awakened.
that's the voice of
And I
BC8.
bring with me death.
We all die. He mastered the technique of Darth Nihilus of consuming whole planets. Amazing cinematics for an MMORPG, people. You see why I love this game. BC8
The
is...
Emperor was not as strong as he might have been had Revan succeeded. But he was strong enough.
No! He was supposed to face me.
You're too weak. You won't last.
If we unite, what I am, won't it fade? Become diminished?
Does he revive?
Dark Lord, even I look in awe at your accelerated rise to power. You did not get where you are today through kindness or moderation. It has served you well. You make a fine example.
He understands.
Don't know if I'm ready.
You have to be. We have to.
He revives? He reunites dark side and light side.
You
What?
have found your center.
I have. For the first time in a long time. Thank you for all you've done and for all you've shown me. Dark days lie ahead. The darkest days. If my error can't be undone, everyone will pay the price. Brace for the worst.
Well, BC8 is alive. Well, I guess I can see the plot of Knights of the Fallen Empire now. Well. Interesting. Discovered codex entry, the Emperor's Return. Let me check the codex then. Let me check the codex. There's the boss that the person wanted to kill on. There's Dreadtooth, and we'll get there. Emperor's Return. Revan Reborn. Emperor influence and etc. Well, you can read, people. I know it. Latency issues, you're on. Nothing little to do with, well, there that person is confirming what I tell you every day. Return to Theron Shan. Can I mount in here? Nope. Okay, people, so there you have it. There you could see the perfect influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics and why I consider this game's level design the best. Because thanks to this instanced system, it can be like a single player game, and it can be like a group game, as you will see once we do some flashpoints, some dungeons. You'll see it. And the PvP and everything, pretty much. So there you have it. There you have it. You can see how versatile the game is. That's why I consider it the best of all time, because it can behave like a single player, a gorgeous single player, as you can see, with the scale of an MMORPG that is always good, with the open world of an MMORPG, way before, was it here or, oh well, here we, looks like it's so, but return to Theron Shan, where, I think I see the objective there, but, there. Should be here. I follow the marker like an idiot. Pretty much. But well, there you could see the boss fight with those bubbles. If it was a raid group boss, it would have killed the other ones and it would have forced a wipe. So there you can see the difficulty derived from the level design, the influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics. It's absolutely majestic. Absolutely majestic. So there you have it, people.
So I guess this is goodbye.
No.
I suppose so. It's been an experience, Theron. Be well to yourself.
Yeah, you too, Lana. Try not to get into too much trouble, all right? It looks like you're finally getting rid of me. How's it feel?
Yeah, we did good work.
All things considered, we accomplished a lot working together.
We did, didn't we? Yeah. Well,
Oh,
seems weird to wish you good luck, so, give my regards to the Dark Council.
I will.
Darth Maul wishes to speak with me. Probably to remind me that we failed to keep the Emperor at bay. I'll see you soon.
Very well. And with that, we finished, or not, Shadow of Revan.
Next time you got a fight that juicy, you know how to reach me.
Weird physics there.
Good luck, you two.
Going somewhere.
We're headed back to Rishi.
Chikara,
No.
I thought you hated that place.
Chikara wishes to whip those sorry Raiders Cove pirates into shape. He sees a real opportunity there.
He doesn't have much of a choice. He's living here.
You'll have your work cut out for you. As invaluable as you've been helping us, I'm not too worried.
Chikaro thanks you for your kind words.
Did he that?
What? Oh, you know I hate it there. That's why we're going, isn't it? Just to torture me.
Darth Maul, you wanted a word.
We suffered many casualties upon the Emperor's return.
He's the leader of the Dark Council.
Nothing compared to what we would have endured had the Revanites been successful. You are to be commended, of course, but it was Lana Benico's guile and intellect that made your participation at all possible.
Gotta be
That is
joking.
why I have placed Lana in charge of Sith intelligence.
A brilliant move, lie, a brilliant move.
This isn't your decision alone, Ma. You'll have to wait for my opinion on the matter.
Because
I
we are
have
members
discussed
of the
rest of the Dark Council.
Like.
No one else objected.
Ah, damn it, it was an anonymous.
Give us a moment.
Yes, my lord.
Anonymous decision. Anonymous, all of them.
The Empire grows ever stronger. The mining of Isotope 5 has bolstered our energy independence, and we're free from concern over the threat of Revan and his followers.
Isotope
That's only
5,
part of the story.
Yes.
Makev's expansion,
momentary
Rise of the
truce
Hat
is
Cartel.
over. We remain at war with an emboldened republic, and we still have countless enemies, both seen and unseen. Political deceit is to be expected, but we have had a full-blown traitor in our midst. Darth Arcus has fostered a new level of mistrust among us. You sought to destroy the Revanites. Of all the Dark Council, the only one I can genuinely trust is you, Darth Nox.
The voice acting for this guy, he gave his life doing this voice acting.
I am the only one you need to trust. The rest can be kept in check.
Agreed. The Empire is whole once more. It grows and strengthens. Our obstacles are severe, but they are known to us. The galaxy is ours to grasp. Let us reach!
Epic Star Wars music that sadly is licensed and I cannot display, but it's beautiful. But it's beautiful. It plays a lot of amazing tracks by Mark Griessley and the rest of the very talented composers of it. I cannot display because I cannot play because the second you play it, it's Disney will drop a fucking copyright strike on your channel or some shit like that. Pretty much. But well, there you had it, people. And what I have been commenting. What do I get? Alright, there we go. Romanite dagger, some reputation there, and you can choose the DLS or pole saber. You can choose a vibroblade, something like that. Yeah, it's the usual lightsaber that you get. I'm fine with my Conqueror lightsaber. And with that, we finished Shadow of Revan expansion. Hey, look at that! Hey, they changed they changed the missions there. Prelude, Rise of the Emperor. It wasn't like this back in my days, people. It wasn't like this back in my days. You had to figure out where to go to find the prelude for the next expansion. Well, there you. I could. The important part is that I could show you in that first boss fight perfectly why. Another one of the reasons why I think it's the best game of all time, because it's the most versatile game that I've seen. It can behave like a single player, it can behave like an MMORPG, like a multiplayer, thanks to the personalized, instanced system. We'll start Knights of the Fallen Empire, the prelude right away. We have to continue with the story. I want to finish all of the story, because as for the rest, then we can do the rest of the group activities and everything. Once I finish with the stories. It's been since 2015 that I haven't done the stories, so I want to finish the stories. But there you could see a perfect example of why I consider it the best game of all time, because it's the most versatile. It can behave like a single player, it can behave like a multiplayer. Yeah, we know. And there you could see how the same boss fight, if done with a group, thanks to that mechanic with the light side and the dark side of spheres to free them, think of the NPCs, instead of using NPCs for the solo mode, think of them as if they were players. That's the operation version of that. It would have been a wipe. There you can see that the difficulty, this is the key, people, the difficulty of that boss fight is derived from the influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics. It wasn't just that the Revan could kill you in one blow. It was the fact that you had to remember which ones are dark side and which ones were light side, and like this, very very fast, you had to free them. And again, imagine that they were your raid group members, and that they were being killed by him. So imagine it can be a wipe and your whole group can die. So there you have the first example of perfect influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics. Why I say that this game has the best level design, because of the instance system. So let's begin Knights of the Fallen Empire right away. We have the prelude there. A presence on Ziost. Fallen Empire, Chapter 1, The Hunt. Fractured Alliances. Okay. Chapter 5, Epilogue. Rise of the Emperor. Epilogue of Shadow of Revan, I presume. Spoiler warning. I love how they do it. This quest chain takes place after the events of Forged Alliances and Shadow of Revan. What's this? Due to the spoilers in this quest chain, you may prefer to complete Knights of the Fallen Empire and Knights of the Eternal Throne first. So after Knights of the Fallen Empire and Knights of the Eternal Throne first. Chapter 5, Epilogue, Rise of the Emperor. In the wake of the events of Yavin 4th, an immortal presence makes itself known on the historic Imperial hub of Ziost, where Lana Benico has been meticulously constructing Sith intelligence, and where was goes Tartago Man. Well, this one looks like that. Nice of a and Rise of the Emperor. All right, so we have to do Rise of the Emperor, I guess. We have to do Rise of the Emperor, I presume. Hey, it's so dark outside because of the storm.
No, I don't care. Revoke their access, all of them, now.
Lana, what's going on? Where are you?
Dark Lord, I realize how informal this must seem, but time is short. Our former Emperor, Vishad, I don't care what they tell you. Assume they're lying and deal with them. He's here. Vishad's presence. Here on Ziost. He's taking over this outpost, controlling soldiers and Sith, using them to murder anyone he can.
Hold them off. I'm on my way.
Good, thank you. I'm sending coordinates. We'll hold this bunker as long as we can, but you must hurry on.
Lana, can you read me?
Or everyone dies.
Ziost.
Ziost? See how smooth it works. Alrighty. Alrighty. So, they designed a new world for this one. Okay, okay. I wonder if there are any datacrons in this one. I've been exploring the world, then we need to do some datacron hunting. People, you'll see the joys of datacron hunting. How amazing they are. But once again, resuming my argument, why the level design is the best is because it's the most versatile. Generally, let's analyze the situation from both points of view now that we've established the basis of the discussion. In an MMORPG, what does it lack in terms of the level design that the single player RPG has, and what does the single player RPG lack that the level design has? In the case of the MMORPG, it lacks the handcrafted single player new planet. Prelude, Rise of the Emperor. Desperate presence on Ziost. A presence on Ziost. Use the departures terminal. Okay. Besides, you can roleplay walk like this, people. Can you imagine? See, so threatening. It's always more threatening if you slowly walk. There we go. It's more threatening if you slowly walk towards your target like a force of nature about to kill it. But no. No, we'll just walk normally. Like that. Oh, there's a lot of people. Ziost Heritage Vendor, Ziost Equipment Vendor. Well, imagine this is, you had to be level 60 to access Ziost, and the cap, I was at 70 and I didn't even explore the expansions, I just did PvP.
What can I get for you?
So what do you get here? An Ice Tromper, that's an ad. I already have my Yuxi Beast, and you can buy an Ice Tromper. So you get some gear there. It's just outdated gear. Yeah, it's kind of like a refreshed PvP gear, I believe. It's old PvP gear refreshed, recycled in that sense. I can identify it. Okay. There's a Republic medical service, so we go here. Only way to go. Use the departures terminal. Here we go. So this is what the MMORPG military versions have ceased replying to orbital common signals. Reports indicate the military has turned on the civilian populace. An imperial military outpost may yield more information. Transport is available for departure. Travel to the outpost. It's going to send me into a load screen again, or what? This would be a great opportunity to avoid the loading screen. Oh, so it's a grey planet. This planet is grey. Yep, no loading screens. See, this game understands me like no one. Indeed. Okay, so we are here. This is the so-called Ziost. So they designed the whole planet just for this, or can you do dailies? Well, I don't know what may be in here, but I'm killing everything that I see. Do meet your contact. So go find Lana. So we'll go find her. Nothing like killing some of them to stretch our old bones. Like that. Ah, by the way, people, I'm back at full power. I forgot to mention it to you. I am back at full power, as you can see here. I have legendary augments, still not as good as having 75 level gear, I guess. And the artifact, I cannot equip this tactical stuff that gives you special powers. That's I would need to buy another stupid expansion for the game or some shit like that. I'm not doing that for a game that is 10 years old at all. Sorry, I'm just having fun with the expansions that I got back then, and I didn't even play. But as you can see here, I'm back at full power because I managed to craft these superior versatile augments there that are very, very powerful, and I have 14 of them because of the full gear set in every single piece of gear there. That lower gold bar that you see there, it was purple previously because I was using a weaker version that I had back from 2015, but now I have it at full power. I have it at full power, and precisely I have them at the maximum level for a level 70, so I'm back at full power. You can also walk with your mount, huh? Don't think that it's just with your character. We can do it like this. We're not doing that, of course, but you can roleplay. That's for the sole purpose of role-playing. Some people like role-playing with this game, just like with Baldur's Gate and with the rest of them. Oh, we have some. The only thing I hate is that they removed the word meat bag from HK's mechanical vocabulary, let's say. So, Sith Intelligence, the banker of Sith Intelligence that she was just appointed. That looks like a escape pod. Everything is messed up.
I had foreseen your arrival.
Emperor.
I didn't believe it.
I thought, after bearing witness to my rebirth on the Yavin moon, why? Why would you stand in the face of certain death?
You're far from stupid, I know that much. Overly ambitious, perhaps. Well, regardless, I do hope you find your time on Ziost enlightening. You'll bear witness to a world's end if you survive long enough.
It's the Emperor talking through them, in case you didn't realize it, people. Others first. First the mobs. I know what to do with you. Ah, well, you were protected again. Possessed by the Emperor. Nice surname for a mob. Stay put. How do you like that stun? There you go.
He's gone. I can finally.
More of you already. I suppose I should be flattered.
The physics are a bit bugged there. There they fixed it. Oh well.
So you've arrived. Good. There's much to be done.
There are Jedi on Ziost.
I couldn't help but notice you're not one of Vitiate's puppets.
I've been preparing my mental defenses ever since Yavin 4. Still, resistance hasn't been easy. The Jedi you fought belong to the 6th line. SIS commandos who follow their own addendum to the Jedi Code. hence the name.
There is no contemplation. There is only duty. A great point of view, so long as they're working for you. Pardon the interruption. I sent a probe droid to look into that crash shuttle, Minister Beniko. It's empty.
This is Agent Rain Kovac. He's been something of a rising star in Sith intelligence here on Ziost.
I'd like to hear more about these Jedi. Do we know what they were up to here?
You can thank our friend Theron Shan for that.
The sixth line arrived when Vitiate started making moves. It's not clear yet how Agent Shaw knew to send them, but we do know he's responsible.
As you've witnessed, Vitiate is taking hold of an increasing number of soldiers and Sith. His goal continues to be the accumulation of power. Agent.
I love how expressive the characters are.
Using the outpost's resources, our former Emperor can massacre the defenseless to fuel him. The more powerful he becomes, the more people he can control. He will keep on killing until nothing's left.
Good. Fitting for the Emperor.
Yes, I'm on my way.
You can fight him originally
everywhere all at once. I've already lingered too long.
in the Jedi Knight story.
To help stem the bloodshed.
It's Knights of the Republic 4, precisely. As I've been mentioning.
It's an honor, my lord. Here's what I have in mind. The outpost armory is wide open right now. It's where the possessed have been getting their firepower. It needs to be placed on lockdown.
Fine. We've stood around long enough.
I'll go out ahead. Be your eyes and ears.
There we go. Story missions, story time, whatever. Huh? Or whatever. By the way, that thing that you see there is because of the robes that I'm wearing. As you can see, armor also has an extra that it doesn't work in PvP, war zones, and arenas, of course. But outside of them, for PvE, hello. You have a booger in your left nostril. No, no. What are you saying, man? What are you saying? What an entrance, Mr. Banedeath 1. Joking. So you play the game? You play the game? Do you like Star Wars: Your Republic? What's your story with the game? Yes, sir. Well, I'm a returning player from 2015. Played it back then, back when Battlemaster gear was a thing and everything, and I don't know shit about the story, and now I am lost. I generally PvP. I PvP a lot. I don't know if you started playing the game recently or you're from... Nice. Yeah. I'm completely lost. I'm an ancient threat. I played PvP so much that I didn't play the story, and I'm resuming it from 2015. I just played the Shadow of Revan expansion and everything. What's your story with the game? Did you play it back then at launch, so we can talk about the old times, or you just discovered the game? Because they recently released it on Steam. That's how I reinstalled it, because the original launcher didn't work. In that case, but well, I'm already back at full power. I'm already back at full power with my augments. I'm a founder. Took 2020 to 2024 off. Ah, but you're a founder. You started back in 2011. If you're a founder. Ah, from the old guard. Ah, a founder from the old guard. What an honor. Founder from the old guard. Ah, and you did PvP operations. Precisely. The release date. Yeah, 11th of December. 11th of December. Yeah, remember, people, for European viewers, that the US one, it's kind of like inverted. The month is at the beginning instead of in the middle, as we use the European systems. I'm from Argentina, and precisely European viewers use the same, and it's the opposite. Yeah, it's the launch date. Basically, it's the launch date. Ah, favorite class then? Banedeath? Favorite class? I used to be all PvP, but since I came back, I suck. No, don't say that. Don't say that. I also I came back some weeks ago. All I did was PvP. Here you can see the Warlord title, and I also have my hand Juggernaut. Yeah, well, you have to do this. My Juggernaut is in the West Coast server, because Electronic Arts Electronic Arts had the brilliant idea of sending my characters to the West server. I don't know why, because the Unified servers. I was from Prophecy of the Five. Which was East Coast, because precisely I live in the capital of Argentina, which is pretty much at the same latitude as basically Halifax in Canada is to the east of New York. So imagine that my connection to the West Coast is not the best. So they sent all of my legacy to the West Coast, and I had to pay to transfer my main character, Eraser, that is the mascot of my channel and everything. I do metaphysical analysis here. I'm a scholastic philosopher, and I analyze games. The developers of Dungeons and Dragons, Dragon Shard, and many more watch my analysis. And of course, I wanted to analyze my favorite game of all time, and I wanted to have a recording of me playing my favorite game. I got lucky, starting on Starforge and still there. No, you had to be kidding me. That's so lucky. No, that's so lucky. He started, for those of you who don't know, Starforge is the server that I'm playing on, the one that I'm calling the East Coast server. He started, but it was roleplay. But it was a roleplay server originally, wasn't it? Prophecy of the Five was savage. I can tell you a story. Would you be interested in a story of Prophecy of the Five? I have a story down below, but I can tell it to you. It was a PvP server because yes, it started as a role-playing server. This one, how was it? I started in a role-playing server back when I didn't know what role-playing was. It was an old one that they destroyed immediately. Cathound, could it be? Cathound. My first server was Cathound. Then I was 16. It was a huge culture shock when I realized that people were role-playing in general fleet chat, and I wanted to just PvP. And precisely I realized, so they play like the characters. Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing isn't a cultural thing. In my country precisely, and it was a huge cultural shock. But I grew up there. I got to know the culture of the US through this game from a very young age. So it's part of me. But I never role played. You never role played, and I had not even watched all the movies when I started playing. You didn't even watch the Star Wars movie? No, yeah. In my case, I had played the first one, Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. You know, this is actually Knights of the Old Republic 4. It's actually 4. The third one is a book called Revan, if you want the whole story. And well, now I'm realizing this. I started in Cathound. I didn't know what role-playing was. Then I realized what I wanted, because I love PvPing. I went to Prophecy of the Five. Prophecy of the Five it was my home. And well, then I stopped playing because I had to go to law school and everything. And I had to stop playing, but I always miss this game. I always mention this. I don't know if it happened to you, Day in Death. Very interesting. I stopped playing not because I got tired of the game, but because I felt it was preventing me from expanding my horizon of getting to know other games, because it's very time consuming. People, for those of you who don't know, this game is very time consuming, and basically I didn't stop because I got bored. I don't know if it happened the same to you. I feel that I didn't stop playing it back in 2015. I mentioned this when I started the series some Thursdays ago, because I got bored. I stopped playing because I said that I didn't know. I analyze games, of course, and everything. Back then I didn't. But I said I don't even know the origins of the genre. And that's why I created my own offline World of Warcraft server, and I got to know World of Warcraft because I wanted to see the roots that created such an amazing system. And there I realized that this game and the system underlying behind this game that makes it so perfect is Dungeons and Dragons 4.0. The tap targeting combat that World of Warcraft created is actually Dungeons and Dragons 4.0. That is incredible because It's incredible because World of Warcraft influenced Dungeons and Dragons 4.0. It's the other way around. It created the tabletop game 4th edition. So, well, I don't know. How was it PvP, doing PvP in a role-playing server original? Because I did a bit, and then I realized that I couldn't find a guild, I couldn't do anything, and then in Prophecy of the Five, it was glorious. Prophecy of the Five was savage. Would you be interested in that story that I mentioned? In that server, I can tell you the story of how Electronic Arts had a problem with that server, basically, because there was a guy. I stopped because I was solo and getting into operations turned to being like a job you need a resume for a resume for. Yeah, I felt the same. Yeah, well, no. Besides, in the case of operations, Baindef, it was, and yes, and yes, tell me. Well, in the case of operations, and now I tell you a story. The uh, it was different back then. Nowadays they are a bit more friendly. I don't do operations because now you need to be 80. I'm not going to pay a sub for a 10-year-old game. But basically, back then in operations I did some. I basically sent my whole legacy to the PvP server, to Prophecy of the Five. Then this character that you see was actually in a PvE server because sorcerers were way too weak. I used a sniper. That became a bit famous. And it was different, people. I remember the first time I entered an operation. Nowadays it would be considered grooming or whatever. A guy just told me, just laughed at me just because of my gear. And there was an elitist culture around operations. What he's mentioning. Precisely, I don't know if you felt it like that. There was an elitist nature. And in the case of PvP, I could just be a lone wolf and kill, and that's it. It was more like a wars. Okay. But I did Terror from Beyond, and some others I wanted to get more into for the Crest of the Dread Masters that I could never get. But well, I did some, but then I went to PvP because I saw that it was pretty much like a cult back then. The story, Baindef, a very interesting story. The story of Star Wars: The Old Republic's greatest priest, Dominion. I even have it here on the channel because I remember that guy. That guy, well, in Prophecy of the Five, PvP server, I transferred there, pretty much. But then there was a forced server merge, the first server merge that they did. And the role-playing players, precisely, were forced into the PvP server of the game. And they were, of course, not ready for PvP, and they were constantly killed. And this person, Dominion, who was a priest, the guy would log into Imperial Fleet every night, I'm telling you, every night, and he would say, Thor is the greatest hero of all time. Thor is the greatest hero of all time. Like all day, the motherfucker was the whole day on Fleet chat, spamming that. Thor is the greatest hero of all time. Eventually, the Fleet chat started to insult him, of course, to say that he was a piece of shit and everything. Imagine spamming the Fleet chat all day saying, "We will get you banned. We will get you banned. Keep reporting him. Keep reporting him." Okay, keep reporting him. Then he started saying, "Well, you are encouraging people to report me, so you have forced my hand." And I will report you. And he created a report wars in the Fleet chat. So everyone was reporting everyone. Those that were, he created a cult, basically a cult in which those that supported him trolling would report the other group, and the other group and the group that was offended by him spamming the whole chat because they wanted to sell stuff. He ruined all channels. He started a report wars, and at the end of the day, Electronic Arts couldn't. Lol, no, it gets worse. He started a reports war, and since well, you know it, this game was sub only originally, and cancel culture. It was kind of like mutual cancel culture. Yes, yes, they did both of them. There was two groups, and they tried to cancel each other out. The problem is that this was a sub-only game. People now it's free to play. Now that I'm playing it modernly, but back then I still have the passes, the Warzone passes in my Legacy Stronghold that you had to pay real money for that shit to play it as a free-to-play, or you had to sub. It was a sub-only game. So Electronic Arts, if they tried to pay attention to the report, yes, it was sub-only, and basically, if Electronic Arts had to deal with all of the reports, they would have lost their whole population. They would have lost a lot of money. They couldn't do that. They couldn't do that. That server was pretty much ruined at the end of the day. Hey, how do I enter those bankers? Well, I'll figure that out. Well, they couldn't handle all of the reports. They could, because if they did that, they would lose a lot of money. At the end of the day, you can, yes, you can ban one or two players, but that way they would have had to ban the whole server. Well, it got worse. It got worse. The report wars continued. The report wars continued constantly. Everyone reporting each other, his cult, and let's say the non-believers. And eventually, they merged populations with the role-playing servers, and the PvPers would start endlessly killing the role-playing guys, and he created a report war, and basically, like that, he ruined the server for Electronic Arts. He ruined the server for the whole company. He ruined the server for the whole company because then it turned into a no man's land where everyone would kill each other. Where it was the Far West. Basically, it was the Far West, a modern version of the Far West. Everyone would report each other on the spot. On the spot, like we do a duel, Bane Death. We do a duel, and for example, you win, and I'm so bad hard that I report you just because of that. It would be like that. It ended up being like that because the role-playing guys were sick of being farmed by the. Let's say we weren't professional at all. We just were PvPing all day, and dang, that's sad. Yeah. And it was a report war. And it created a report war, and Electronic Arts couldn't do shit about it. But at the end of the day, people, it's a happy story. Well, somehow, in a very wicked way, because the will of one man, Dominion, well, his last name was... The complete name of the character was Dominion Violator, sadly, but well, he was a savage. But well, the will of one man managed to ruin Electronic Arts businesses. So he played a huge role. He played a huge role in the downfall of the game and the transition to free to play. Did you like the story, Bane Death? I bet that as a veteran SWTOR player, you must loved it. I loved it because I lived it. Very, very good stuff. But well, nowadays it's a bit more civilized, funny. Yeah. I love the stories. Always when I tell it. Now well, I enjoyed. Yeah. Well, as for the rest, I analyze the games generally on the channel, and my community is very respectful. Nothing to. Hey, thanks for being the 33rd follower of the channel. As I said, I'm a scholastic philosopher and I analyze games. The developer of Dungeons & Dragons Dragon Shard and the developer of another one called Evencast Rise of the Mage also praised my analysis. I use a very old philosophical science called scholasticism, very old method that I use to analyze games. They have been praised as a very slow method, but basically I deal with objective metaphysical reality nowadays that it's so... Hey, how do you enter those bunkers? There. You connect to the... you use that thing. Sorry, I got so caught up in my... Oh no, macro binocular missions. No, I remember when they pushed this. Do you remember this? The micro binocular missions. They were Horrible. I remember when they introduced this shit. They are still on the fleet, I believe. Oh, it's a micro binocular mission. Look at the. Do you still play nowadays? I didn't ask you that, man. Or maybe I didn't ask you that if you still play the game. If you're a returning player like me, you still play the game because they changed the gear a lot. Look at my gear. I just finished going back to full power with these ones, with the superior versatile augments. I remember when I discovered augments, the inflation in this game has been terrible, terrible, terrible. All of the prices have skyrocketed. We have scalpers on the GTN. GTN is a Galactic Trade Network for the rest of the of those who didn't play the game. It's the auction house in Diablo 3 basically. There's another one. I remember when they introduced the macro binocular missions. Ah, yeah, I forgot. You still play the game until 2024 off. Ah, you stopped in 2024. You told me. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, in my case it was up until 2015, and then yeah. Yeah, I used to hate these things. Yeah, 26 characters, all 80 and all 338 to 341 item. Ah, so you played it modernly last year. You played it modernly. You played it modernly, and the problem was the operations. I stopped because I was solo and getting into operation turn. Ah, yeah. Ah, okay, so you got the modern version of it. Yeah, so you saw the whole evolution, like I am discovering right now, with those artifacts that they introduced. What was it? Those artifacts? This one, this tactical, not the artifact, tactical. This thing that they introduced, you probably tried that thing. Well, now I'm capped at 78. I only care about analyzing it at this point. For me, it's the best game of all time. And I am basically trying to give some points to everyone watching the stream. They have new augments at level 310 now. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah, I don't know if you agree with me, but what I think would help this game a lot would be to just allow free-to-play players, like not me, those who never discovered the game, like those who never played it, to get to level 80. They do with the sub, but then also the million credit cap, that they have for free to play, because if you subbed initially, and then you go free to play, then your money is capped like that. So I remember when they introduced the micro binocular missions, they would help. This game could have been so much. It was the most. I told the whole story of the game in the first video. You can find it over at my YouTube channel. I did a whole intro with all of the stuff. I do that when I analyze the games. And I don't know if you know, this was the most expensive game of all time until GTA 5. And well, it could have been so much more. And the fact that it's still alive, that old guard guys like us still come back, is proof of how amazing it is. I was mentioning several points in my metaphysical analysis of it. The first one being the perfect influence of the level design on the gameplay mechanics that I'm mentioning, that the game can be played single player and multiplayer at the same time. It's the most versatile game I've seen. The second one is the perfect implementation of Dungeons & Dragons 4.0. For example, in the Black Talon flashpoint that I mentioned in the first stream, people, which is the most basic flashpoint of all of them. Basically, the dungeons in World of Warcraft they are the same as the dungeons in World of Warcraft. According to the choice that you make, according to that, you get different bosses. And you can fight a light side boss or a dark side boss, for example, and that's brilliant, because you can see that the level design of the game is influenced by the classic moral choice system of BioWare. In my case, I'm coming from, of course, uh, Mass Effect, Knights of the Old Republic, Jade Empire, old Jade Empire as well, old Jade Empire, and pretty there should be two of them there. Oh yeah, there they are. See how they are so annoying, these macro binocular missions. I remember that, as I said, when they introduced it, no one wanted to play them, myself included, of course. And yeah. Well, for the Juggernaut that you mentioned, you can do Skank Tank, like going immortal with critical PvP gear. In that sense, that's what I'm going to do once I get my Juggernaut off the West Coast server. I'll have to wait some months. I already paid for the transfer of this one. Well. I'm going to go Skank Tank in that sense, but no, my objective is to analyze why, like in a defensive thesis uh, at college or something like that, why is the best game of all time in that sense. Uh, I remember that another one of the points when I was talking with the developer of Dungeons & Dragons Dragon Shard that I made was the innovation that it had, and in that sense this is the only game that I've seen that combines single player with multiplayer elements so seamlessly. Because think about it, people. Think about World of Warcraft, that I then went to play to discover why is it that I like this game so much. It lacks the single player elements of this one. Not only the storytelling. The storytelling would be the obvious stuff that it lacks. The influence of the role-playing aspect that this game has. A lot of people just play this for role-playing purposes. Also, in more subtle ways. Yes, pay attention to. Have you paid attention to the voice actor of the Sith Inquisitor and compare it? Have you compared it to the Juggernaut one, to the Sith Warrior one? You will notice how different their voices are. See how much care they put in those. Have you noticed that the voice actor for the Sith Inquisitor is kind of like sneaky? It's kind of like very, very specific. I mentioned this when I talked about the ambience aspect of this game that is amazing. Have you noticed that the voice is sneaky, while the Sith Juggernaut is deeper and more, let's say, brutish, let's say, that to that crazy degree of precision, that's the crazy degree of precision they put in this game, and it's absolutely amazing. You won't find that in World of Warcraft, in that sense, besides the amazing Star Wars universe. Sorry, I didn't read your previous message. Free to play, in my opinion, should be level 80, but nothing but green gear, no modded or Rakata gear, and crates capped at 10 million, and cartel coins to get escrow low level PvP allowed, but not level 80 PvP. Yeah, well, precisely. That's a perfect combo, because it would be with nothing with green, no modded. So you would keep the artifact equipment authorization, right? Well, to keep the game alive, of course, to monetize it. I would have. Yeah, something like that, like the artifact equipment authorization. Yes. Yeah. The thing is that back then, in a more healthy economy, I remember when I lost when I stopped playing the game, the artifact equipment authorization right now is 5 million or something like that. Back then, you could buy it easily. They had a problem with the referral link for a friend, I believe. In that sense, they had a problem with the referral link that people were using it constantly and were basically playing free. So the crates then capped at 10 million. That's perfect. And cartel coins to get escrow, low PvP allowed, but not level 80. See, yeah, perfect. Yeah. I think your idea was. Yeah, perfect. No Rakata gear, no legendary gear there. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I would allow them up to purple. Purple, would you allow them? Artifact? No. Nothing but green. No, you said nothing but green. Up to green. So no prototype, no blue, and no purple. No, I would push it up to purple.
easy
purple.
kills inside.
Would
And
be
the only thing I
purple.
could think of.
I would keep the artifact
Leadership
equipment
overload,
authorization up to
fried everything
purple,
in and around it.
because
Tried to
blue
shield
is
myself, but
kind
still
of like
scrambled
not
half my implants.
And that stopped the attack.
not molded, but yeah,
They
pretty
went
much like
down,
that.
yeah. Some
Yeah,
of them
yeah,
got
yeah,
back
yeah.
up, but they seemed out
Yeah,
of
it would help the game.
sense,
Anyways,
dazed.
back in 2023, they gave this game to a company called
Intrusion.
Broadsword
Initiate spawns.
that you see on the
I have
in
a
the
function.
intro loading screen. It's the one that keeps Ultima Online alive. So imagine if we have any chances of the game remaining alive with any company, it's that one. If it keeps the first MMORPG of all time, Ultima Online, alive, then
That was it.
I remember that was another trolling trope
It's you,
back then.
my lord.
World of Warcraft was the first MMORPG of all time. That was the same guy. It was evidently the first MMORPG of all time. Our Thor god legend, his cronies would say. Uh, his cronies would say. Conquest gear, green gear, goes to 340 at level 80. And you know that. You know that, you know that. Ah, the green gear goes up to level up to 340.
No, I'll be in touch.
Yeah, the green one. Yeah. Oh.
Well, he seems
Yeah, at 80.
confident.
Yeah.
Is he any good?
Yeah, better than capping
Lana
at 70 like
believed
I
in
am now,
Sith
for example.
intelligence. Who'd have thought
Yeah,
it?
yeah, then it's more than
Never
enough
thought
for all
the
the
knowledge
solo
was there over her
content.
head.
Yeah. Yeah, then you're right. Yeah, it's more than the solo content. And blue, wouldn't you give them blue at least? He goes to 340. Yeah, that's a lot of rating. Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Yeah, make him pay for blues and purples.
Well, tell me,
Damn it, that's
you
so
still have
real that well.
conscience
Your name
because
is
you're a
Bane
little
Death. You should be a Madness Inquisitor like I am, not a
Still,
Juggernaut. The
you
Juggernaut
should
is
never
way too
forget
noble
to
for that. That is cruel.
I've got a problem.
No, it's okay, it's okay.
You've
It's okay,
been
just
busy,
joking.
Agent Shaw.
Chancellor.
For pay for blues and purple. Not even the blues at 80. Well,
Everything's happened so
at
fast,
80
you
they
don't
are more
realize-
powerful, maybe.
do realize.
Well, you would keep the game alive very in a very efficient way in that sense. Then they had to hire you. No. With broadsword, they will probably keep the game alive for a long time because my fear. You know what my fear was, Bane Death? Which one it was? That the game would be bought by a Chinese company, by Tencent. Do you know Tencent, the one that bought League of Legends and well, I'm playing another game called Drakensang, and the community of Drakensang Online also visited my stream and we talked about it. That they got bought by Tencent. It's a Diablo clone, an isometric action RPG, and they added cosmetics. They bought it and they added cosmetics like there's no tomorrow. It's a Chinese company. It's only profit. There's only profit in their mind. And in that sense, Broadsword was. I think it was a bit better. It was a bit better. It's the one that kept Ultima Online alive. I have two of everything. Well, just love the jugs, choke and push. So great. You have two of every. You mean one for Republic, one for Empire. You got the legendary achievement thingy then. That flare that they added. They added flares last time I checked. Yeah. I got. I'm lacking 3 stories that I'm going to play. I'm going to play the Mercenary. I'm lacking the Mercenary, the Republic Smuggler, that one, and and the trooper, basically. My main one was a sniper. I started with the Jedi Shadow, with the assassin for Empire players. I didn't like it. I think it's seeing players. It's the class that I liked the least. Oh, looks like we got a successful auction sale, or the NPC sent you the mails, because they even cared about that. The auction, they even cared about NPCs feeling so alive, so they send you mails. Huh? I remember when they added. You must remember, Bane Death, the HK51 quest. Do you remember? I did it. I'm short smuggler and marauder on Republic side, but you didn't play the smuggler. Well, I'm going to play the story. there. I'm going to play the story. It's the only ones that I'm lacking. I'm lacking those three. The mercenary, the merc. I will go for a merc instead of a power tech, the Empire side. Then I'll roll a Vanguard Republic Trooper, and then a Smuggler I can go for, since I did a Sniper, I can go Operative, and do the story. And with that, I'll be able to transfer my... I should be able to transfer my Juggernaut in some months, and that's it. But no, I have them, just not two of them. Ah, okay. So you played them all. What? This is a great opportunity. What would you tell anyone else watching this as a YouTube bot or a Twitch bot? What would you tell them regarding the fact that this game is 8 games in one, which was one of my points to say that this is the best game of all time? What would you say? Because then it's another viewpoint compared to mine, because I can say it's the best game of all time, but it's only me. And if you like, give me your viewpoint. Why? How does the fact that it's 8 games in one influenced your liking or not of the game? Because in my case, it was a huge deciding factor. I never imagined up until that moment, because it was back in 2011, or 2012, because it was by the end of 2011. I never seen a game with 8 story classes. I mentioned this in my analysis, that precisely it was a huge factor. How did it impact you? You thought it was revolutionary, great, bad, good, if you like, because I've been saying that it's again the best game of all time, but it's always good to have more viewpoints. I always love that. And precisely enriching critical thinking regarding anyone who may be watching the game. Because then I also have a Discord with people that haven't played the game, for example, and then they watch them as bots, because my audience is generally older, than me even. much older than me even. So what would you say? The fact that they had 8 stories, you thought it was revolutionary, or it was normal? Because I thought it was one of the elements that basically, for me, it was more like 4, because the Jedi and Counselor and the Warrior. For me, it was more like 4 stories, because the Jedi and the which one was it? The Consular. The Consular was it? The Consular and the Warrior and the Sorcerer kind of merged together. Yeah, I have been mentioning that, and that is precisely what makes this game so good for me in my case. Because I don't know if you knew it when you started playing it. This game was meant to be Knights of the Old Republic 3, right? I told this story in the first ball. It was meant to be Knights of the Old Republic 3, in which we were about to know what happened to Revan when he departed for the Uncharted regions. But I thought it was great to have so many options regarding the stories. Yes. Well, great that one more person, not only you, there was another person that visited me in the first streams, saw the potential it had. I think it adds a lot of variety. Second, it's incredible that regardless of the different settings, because the Consular is more political, the Consular was the first one I played, a lot of people think it's the worst. I like it, the Jedi Consular. I liked it. I know that's a sacrilege in the SWTOR community. I know that everyone will think that I have a shitty taste, but my favorite is a Jedi Knight. Because it's Knights of the Old Republic 4. It's the original game. It is the original game that they tried to do in Knights of the Old Republic 3, which is precisely the case. Well, that's why I wanted to tell you. This game was meant to be Knights of the Old Republic 3, only the Jedi Knight story, right? It was what's this for? Do we get a bonus? Yeah, we get a bonus. Of course, we always get bonuses. The Jedi Knight story was meant to be Knights of the Old Republic 3. It was meant to be a single-player game, basically, in which, and I'm quoting here, Revan, the storyline was awful for the Jedi Consular. Yeah. I know most people think that. I know most people think that. I liked it because of because it's a bit more political in that sense. It's a bit more political, and it works. What I would say to defend it, I guess. My favorite was the Jedi Knight for the consular for the consular. The Jedi Knight was my favorite, but in defense of the consular, I would argue that it acts cohesively in line with what a real Jedi consular would be in Knights of the in a hypothetical Knights of the Republic 3. But yeah, it's not the best, but that's what I liked about it. As I've said, the best one for me is the Jedi Knight. I don't know which one is your favorite because it was Knights of the Republic 4. A lot of people like this one, the Inquisitor, and the Agent. The Agent one was good. Probably a lot of people's favorite is the Agent one. Of course, it's amazing. But well, pay attention to these people. The only fact that we are discussing the quality of the writing in an MMORPG tells you how versatile the game is, and that's what makes it the best of all time in one of my arguments. It's the most versatile game I've seen. It can be perfectly a single player game, and it can spark debate around it, and at the same time it can give you endless hours of I don't know, PvP or raiding bosses like World of Warcraft. That is the key. It's very um, versatile in that sense. So how do you get there? What do I need to do? Infiltrate the new Adasta. There? Oh, the Vanos respawn. Yeah, they also lowered the respawn chance of the mobs. No, in that sense, the original idea, and I will quote here, the Jedi Knight story, not the other ones. The other ones were extras when they went the MMORPG route. I'll show you something that I showed you the first time before anything. I'll show you something. It took me 10 years to get it. I'll show you something beautiful. Give me a sec. I got it after 10 years. The encyclopedia. I showed it the first stream, but in case you don't watch it, there you go. I got the encyclopedia after 10 after 10 years. I got it. Took me 10 years to get it, but I finally got it. Last year, 2024. I got it. The encyclopedia. I still have to read it. Pretty much. Took me a lot to get it. For me, I enjoyed being Darkseid in the Republic Smuggler storyline. The answers and responses were golden. They were like the ultimate smartest responses. Yeah, the agent also does that in the Empire side. That's the thing. It's well, there you have another point, people. There you have another point that is very subtle, but most reviewers don't pay attention to. The game inside of the storyline, that encyclopedia is cool. Thank you. It took me 10 years to get it. It was launched back in 2011, and well, I told the story of this one. I'm not going to get into details. It was related to my country's policies, that it was stuck at the port for 10 years. That's why you see that it's for 12 years. That's why you see that it's new. I won't get into political stuff. I've already lost a lot of viewers and good friends because of it. So no. And yeah. I got it after 10 years, and pretty much it was amazing. But that's another subtle aspect. That you don't pay that general reviewers don't pay attention to when they analyze games like this. Inside of the storyline, thanks to the moral choice system baked into the game by BioWare Austin. This is not made by BioWare Canada, the Canada. This is made by a Texan studio that was uniquely assembled for this game. They baked the different paths that you can take, and that moral choice system baked into the game influences the level design, because in the Black Talon you get different bosses, but also in the storylines you get different, not different outcomes overall, because they cannot change the whole story, like in Mass Effect, or something more extreme, because it's a single player game, Mass Effect in that sense. But in the framework of the level design of an MMORPG, they pushed it to the limit, because you get different outcomes. Some people die, some others don't. That gives the player a sense of choice and power that you generally don't get in even single player games. For example, in single player games, in that sense. Do we have another bonus? Yeah, there. We have to free those guys. Oh, nice stealth there. So that's one of the things. So I never said the quote. They quoted that Knights of the Republic 3, the offline version before it went the MMO route, this was going to be discover the fate of Revan after he departs for the uncharted regions at the end of Knights of the Old Republic 1 and face the true Sith Lords. That is interesting. Because the true Sith Lords, it was meant to be the book Revan. You know, the book Revan that I showed it in the first stream. The book Revan is Knights of the Old Republic 3. What happens to Revan? And even further, your companions will slowly start to agree with your decisions. That is cool as well. Great. I forgot about that, the companion system. See, I forgot about that. See how it enriches it. I had forgotten about it. I forgot about to take the companion system into account. Yes, according to the dark or light side choices, your companions will disapprove or not, and that will influence the companion system of the game in your efficiency with crafting. This, yes, I mentioned it, that it influences the crafting system of the game. Because people, I will show it again for the purpose of showing it to you. Here, with crew skills is more than enough. Here you can see the influence, and the influence affects the crafting skills. And the crafting skills, well, if we talk about the crafting system of the game, you could see people that only now I'm back at full power for a level 70. In that sense, I could only craft these augments, because they are worth kind of like 10 million on GTN, something crazy like that, because of the crafting system of the game. And it took me 2 weeks, basically, as I returned to the game. But not only that, it affects the efficiency, the combat efficiency of the companion. But it wasn't always like this. I bet Bane Death remembers it. It wasn't always like this. Back then, your companions had to use gear, and you would give your companion your useless PvP or PvE gear to ensure that it wasn't a simple meat shield that wouldn't help you at all. And the roles were strict. And that leads me to the next point of the analysis that I wanted to highlight. The strict role assignment of the game is not only for the player, because of the influence of Dungeons & Dragons 4.0, because that's the key difference between Dungeons & Dragons 4.0 and 3.5, the strict role assignment among the combat and other things, but it's one of the huge differences, that this game has strict role assignments. Yeah, you had to not only keep your gear up, but had to make sure they were geared as well. Indeed, you couldn't just influence them through decisions. Well, HK, in the case of HK, because he doesn't have armor, but if I summon another one, let me summon Talos, which is the one that I used back in 2015. You can see that he's using the old PvP gear. I bet you recognize this gear, Bane Death. It's the PvP gear that I gave him. It was my old the old PvP gear for the, I think it was for the smuggler and the agent. Yepper, yeah. Well, there you can see it. It still has it. You can even read it. If I have it here, it should be, yeah, there it is. Conqueror, Field Tech headgear. It's the old PvP gear. I don't know why I missed the trousers. Don't ask me why. But well, this no longer serves a purpose. But back then, I remember I didn't have this pistol. I think they removed it once I logged in. All my companions are naked now. So yeah, pretty much. But you had to equip them with this. Do you see that there? Now they have a note. Companions do not gain statistical bonuses from equipment. That's for returning players like me. Not working. Don't waste your time. So that's the thing. Now it's just I didn't like that. I don't know if you liked it, Bane Death. I didn't like it because I didn't like it because it reduced the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics. In my opinion, it reduced the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics, and well, it it basically it was also a way for you to know how to gear other classes in that sense once you finished with yours, but I didn't like that they reduced the abstract complexity. A lot of people I know that they loved that because they didn't like gearing their companions, but it made you work for it, and I think that whatever increases the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics is always inherently positive, as long as the game is not impossible to complete. As I always say, people, when I analyze games, a perfectly balanced difficulty is 99.9999%. It has to be doable, but it should be as difficult as possible. That's the key. I've debated it with a lot of viewers in the past, and yeah, while some people like easier games, I think that reducing the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics destroys replayability because the brain psychologically works like that, works through repetition. That's why these games are so addictive. And if you destroy replayability by lowering the abstract complexity of the gameplay mechanics, you are at the end of the day degrading. You are degrading the production of the production of dopamine by the brain. At the end of the day, you are making it less addictive. It has to do with psychological purposes that humans work through repetition, people. At the end of the day, that's why we remember. Have you noticed that the games that we remember the most are those that we play the most? I know it sounds kind of like evident or stupid maybe, but it's something that reviewers don't pay attention to most of the time. They don't pay attention to that, since that the games that we remember the most are those that we play the most, even regardless of the inherent quality of the gameplay mechanics sometimes.
With respect, you haven't seen what I have on the ground.
Well, back then I only had the 8 characters for the stories, but it did upset me that I had to acquire the better gear for companions, and when they took stats off, then I felt robbed. Well, then you felt robbed in the end. That's how I felt when I logged.
This is bad.
That is one way of putting it.
I take it you heard all that. Or enough of it.
You felt robbed. I also felt robbed. I share the sentiment in that sense, because it has a lot of implicacies that maybe they are subtle and a lot of people will think they are stupid, but they are not. You could do dailies faster than other people, and since you could do dailies much faster, because, for example, HK51, it was the one that dealt the most damage. That's why you had to look for the parts all across the galaxy, all across the game map. Prepare to die. I hate traitors.
You can't. You need me. You need my help.
In that sense, it helped you do dailies faster. Because of that, you got more money. In a sane economy, it made a difference. You could sell faster then, and your whole economy would be better off as a player.
Let me help you.
Because of... Well, we don't get to kill him. So sad. Crybabies gonna cry and game developers will bend that knee. Oh, I already love you. See, I already love you because I think exactly the same. That's how they start. Because of that argument, they also started nerfing classes, and they took away my legendary Smash Monkey Juggernaut build. And yours as well, because you said that your favorite was the Juggernaut as well, or the one that you play the most. That's exactly what happens, and that degrades the experience for the whole player base. That's how they then nerfed the Juggernauts the Smash Monkey Juggernaut, when now we're verifying that it was perfectly fine, because now ranged classes have a huge advantage except for Skunk Tank. So they force the player base to actually go Skunk Tank instead of keeping the Smash Monkey Juggernauts at launch. I don't know if you remember them well as a Juggernaut. You must. The Smash Monkey Jug was basically, for anyone else watching watching this as a YouTube bot that hasn't played the game, it was basically the Juggernaut that he's mentioning, a melee class that would deal a lot of area of effect damage with an ability called Smash. That's why it was called Smash Monkey. Bane Death. I have to bring up the discussion. What do you think of 3.5 when they removed the skill trees? The old skill trees, do you remember them? That you had to choose the talents? I think it was a tragedy, needless to say. But I think it was a tragedy, because that's what you described. The crybaby's gonna cry and the game Dave's will bend the knee. The skill trees. I was so upset in Star Wars Galaxies when they took away the Jedi Experience Trainer and made it a choosable character. Well, I haven't played that one, so I cannot give you my opinion on that one, but if it's the same case as the crybabies going to the developers and saying, my class is nerfed, nerf the other class, I suck way too much, I suck so much that I need the other class nerfed. I agree. So, in Star Wars Galaxies, because it's the predecessor, Star Wars Galaxies, I know it's the predecessor of this game, not in the gameplay department, because it's more similar to World of Warcraft. This one, same. Well, I figured as much. Yeah, I imagined that. In Star Wars Galaxy, for those of you who know, Star Wars Galaxies is the previous MMORPG. It was kind of like the previous Star Wars, trademark reserved, branded MMORPG that is, let's say, the spiritual predecessor of this game without the MMORPG combat of this one. So this one is a carbon copy of World of Warcraft in that sense. I think it's much. I explained in the first stream why I think the tab targeting combat system is so good, and why this game is the example of the highest point of abstract complexity of Dungeons & Dragons 4.0 and tab targeting combat, and basically BRB, sorry. No worries, man. Then we can debate about the skill trees and everything. Because I remember that how much I miss the skill trees. In that sense, I miss them, because back then, I mentioned this in the first day of analysis, people, the skill trees were completely different. You wouldn't just simply choose talents in that sense.
Excuse me. My attention is needed elsewhere. Everywhere.
Well, there we go. I think that's pretty much it.
Any more and it's the dampeners that will take the brunt of the search. All that's left is to disable the system failsafe.
So back then the skill tree was totally different. Oh well, I'll keep the conversation in case whenever Bane Death returns, so we can debate the skill trees that way. So we can debate them together in that case. Because then I will be talking about it, and then we will talk about it again, and you guys will get bored about the stuff that all the analysis and stuff that we do here on the channel. I know a lot of people get bored. That's exactly when I tell them that my channel is generally for mature audience, precisely in that sense. Okay. Alright, people. Oh well, I bet you could see how the level design perfectly influences the gameplay mechanics, as I have been mentioning. In that sense. I need to get that Walker mount from Yavin 4th. There we go. So,
Maybe you don't want to hear this. I have to say it though. I respect Lona Beniko sincerely.
that's the guy that we had to
The
kill.
Empire enslaves and slaughters innocent people every day.
Ah.
And I respect common decency more. I hope you understand.
I feel so tempted to do a political statement, but I won't do. I will bite my tongue. I'll bite my tongue. I'll bite my tongue this time. I'll bite my tongue this time about the period of time in which this game was developed. I'll just bite my tongue this time, people. Hope you can all appreciate. This time I will bite my tongue. Oh well. I've already lost a lot of good friends because of that, so I know how it works. No. Besides the other day, the other day I don't want to make any viewer look bad because of my political statement. It's not because of me, but more because of that. In that sense, trust me, because of that. I don't want to make it like that. Only because of that. Because I know how audiences work with other channels. I don't want to make others look like they are crazy. In my case, I don't care. But in that sense, I don't want others to look like they are crazy. There we go, people. I feel tempted, but no. I'll bite my tongue. Because of that. I don't want any of the Oh, there we go. Mom. Oh, nice beast. That one looks good. You look very good, guy. Come here. I won't even use my buffs. Do you do anything else besides jumping, or will just stay there and die? Avatar of Ruin. Hey, they could have made this more difficult. Hey, you can bioanalyze this guy. Look at this shit. Look, you can bioanalyze this guy. Look at that. You can bioanalyze this guy. You look at that.
What was that thing?
We've been calling them monoliths. I promise I wasn't eavesdropping, just wanted to warn you. We've seen several of those creatures appearing throughout New Adasta. They're made from Sith alchemy, a sign of Vitiate's growing power. Extremely strong, next to impossible to kill. The one you just defeated is the smallest we've come across.
Oh well, in the meantime, I'll take the encyclopedia back to the bookshelf.
If you're free, we really should have a conversation about your agent.
It'll have to wait. Behind you.
Oh, what the? And that's why the streamer should never do that. And that, don't worry, I have life still. And that's why the streamer should never do that. Well, I got a harsh life lesson as... Huh? A harsh life lesson as a streamer. Never do that. Never leave your game doing a dialogue line as immune. What do you mean? Got some kind of alchemical invulnerability. Alright, I have to. What about this thing? There we go. Nice influence of the level design again. And that's why the streamer should never do that. Should never do that. Okay, can I bioanalyze it again, at least? Should never stand up and go as he gets killed. Okay, there we go. Now we can resume the conversation. It was kind of like precise, huh? It was a precise moment.
Plan's over. Scrapped. Some giant thing tore through a junction, caused an electrical surge.
dampeners are shot.
And you expect me to take your word for it? What's your angle, Kovac?
Yeah, explain
I want
yourself.
this nightmare to end. That's my angle.
Agent report.
It won't work, Minister. I failed.
Let me check this stream before this. Let me check the stream before that decision. Let me check the stream for a sec before that decision. Let me check the stream before that decision. Let me check the stream before that decision. Agreed. Kill him. Oh yes. There we go. Seems to be going very, very smoothly. Very, very smoothly. Nice. Sorry for the delay, people. I went to check it because since they updated the game and everything. There we go. God damn it. God damn it. It won't work, Minister. I failed. I agree.
Yes, you did fail. And for the last time.
That's one traitor less. Sorry, people. I hate traitors. I despise traitors.
What have you done? Agent Kovac was a valued asset.
Alright, you don't say.
He was working for the Republic.
He what?
I caught him.
Idiot.
He admitted his guilt.
No, how could I have been so blind?
Lana, we still have a problem to solve.
Yes.
Learn, my young
I may
Padawan.
have found a solution. I doubt you'll like it.
I'm listening.
War has broken out across the globe.
Sorry, I
Our
had to do it,
former
people.
Emperor, however, has limited his involvement to the area around New Adasta, near you. I don't think it's a coincidence. It's possible he isn't as strong as he's been letting on. It's possible he's worried about what you could do.
He sees in me someone who could one day surpass him. He has every right to be worried.
Good. I need you to maintain that confidence for what's to come. You must get all of his pawns, every last soldier, Jedi and Sith, to stop their slaughter and chase you into the heart of New Adasta.
What's the point of this cutscene
You
at
must
all?
make Vitiate want to kill you, now.
What's the point of this cutscene? My god. Hey, where's my companion? There's an entrance there, some kind of entrance, people. So let's. Oh. So the entrance should be over there, right? I'm getting a bit lost here. Ah, right. It has to be that. All right. This group dies. It's right in the way. Indeed it does. More mail. Either I'm selling everything on the GTN or the NPCs are sending me a lot of mails. Either it's one of the one out of the two. You don't happen to have a mailbox in here, right?
Is nothing sacred to them? Our home.
Shut up.
Please use all units only as intended.
Use the departures terminal. I have to go back. Requesting me and transportation to Ziost. I just go back to the orbital station, I guess, or I can use. I probably could have used that one. Oh well, I don't know. Travel to the People's Tower. That's very specific. I guess that's where we had to